Man paid for black woman's coffee after her card was declined. She was a millionaire CEO. Beginning. Rain fell hard against the transparent dome, shielding the city of New Phoenix. Though the storm roared outside, inside the dome, people went about their day as though it were sunny. Neon lights from hover cars reflected on slick, polished streets, and artificial greenery glowed faintly along the walkways. Inside Elysium Café, the most popular coffee house in the corporate district, a line of customers stretched past the glass doors. This cafe wasn't just about caffeine. It brewed from imported beans grown in orbital greenhouses and infused with nanites that gave clarity boosts for executives, engineers, and students who could afford the premium price. At the back of the line stood a tall black woman in her mid-30s. She wore a sleek black coat, her hair twisted into an elegant bun, and a quiet confidence radiated from her. Few knew her face, though her name echoed through boardrooms. Selena Vey, the reclusive CEO of Vaytech Industries, one of the most advanced biotech companies on Earth. But today, Selena wasn't here as a CEO. She was here as a tired woman who wanted a cup of coffee. In front of her stood a man who clearly didn't belong in this upscale cafe. His jacket was worn, his shoes patched, and his hands calloused. He shifted uncomfortably under the gazes of wealthy patrons. His name was Jonas Hale, a former construction worker displaced when autonomous drones replaced human labor. When it was finally Selena's turn, she ordered a Neuro Brew double, a 40-credit drink. She reached into her sleek wallet, tapped her card against the scanner, declined. The red letters blinked across the screen. Selena frowned, trying again, declined. People behind her began whispering. A pair of corporate interns snickered. Maybe she maxed out her credit on fake jewelry. Selena, amused with embarrassment, felt heat rise to her cheeks. Before she could speak, Jonas stepped forward. "I'll cover it," he said, sliding his chipped ID card across the scanner. The cashier raised an eyebrow. Jonas's card barely had enough credits, but it processed successfully. The machine beeped green. Selena turned sharply. "You didn't have to." Jonas shrugged. Nobody should get mocked for wanting coffee. Besides, it's just a drink. The murmurs grew louder. Some laughed. The broke guy paying for someone else? Hilarious. But Selena studied Jonas. His gesture wasn't pity. It was dignity. "Thank you," she said quietly, taking the coffee. And with that, their worlds collided. Middle. Selena didn't leave the cafe immediately. Instead, she walked to Jonas's table, where he sat alone with a plain black coffee. No nanites, no enhancements. "Why did you do that?" she asked. Jonas looked up. "Because I've been in your shoes. Had my card decline once at a diner, and people laughed. It sticks with you. Didn't want you to go through that." Selena studied him. There was honesty in his eyes, no expectation of reward. He didn't know who she was. "Do you work around here?" she asked. He chuckled bitterly. "Not anymore. Used to be in construction before drones took over. Now I do odd jobs. Deliveries, repairs, whatever keeps me afloat." Selena sipped her coffee, her mind racing. Vaytech Industries had recently been testing new biotech exosuits, designed to enhance human strength and reflexes, originally for medical rehabilitation, but now eyed by defense contractors. She'd been fighting her own board of directors, who wanted to sell the tech exclusively to the military. Jonas, sitting before her, represented the very people she wanted to help. Workers displaced by automation. "I may have a job for you," she said slowly. Jonas raised an eyebrow. "What kind of job?" "The kind that could change your life. But it's dangerous." He laughed. "Lady, I can't even pay rent half the time. Dangerous sounds like an upgrade." Selena leaned closer. "Meet me tomorrow at Vaytech Tower, 8 a.m. Ask for me by name." Jonas frowned. "You some kind of recruiter?" Selena just smiled faintly. "Something like that." The next morning, Jonas arrived at Vaytech Tower, an obsidian skyscraper with glowing circuits etched into its surface. Security drones scanned him suspiciously, but when he gave Selena's name, he was escorted to the top floor. Selena greeted him in a private lab. She was no longer in casual clothing. She wore a sharp seal suit, her presence commanding. Jonas's eyes widened. "You're her, the CO." Selena smirked. "Surprised?" "Little bit." She motioned to a sleek exosuit, suspended in the center of the lab. It was a black and silver frame, lightweight, pulsing with blue energy. "This is Project Aegis. It amplifies human strength, speed, and resilience. You said drones replaced you. With this, No machine can outpace you. Jonas stared at it. You want me to wear that? I want you to test it. And maybe help me prove to my board that it belongs with people, not just soldiers. Jonas hesitated, then stepped into the suit. The frame clamped around him, and instantly he felt power surging through his body. His movements became effortless, precise. He clenched his fist and accidentally dented a steel table. Okay, this is wild, he whispered. Selena watched carefully. How does it feel? Like I'm not broken anymore, he said, his voice thick. From that day, Jonas became Selena's test pilot. She trained him, teaching him to use the exosuit not just for strength but precision. Together, they pushed the suit's limits. But soon, whispers spread to the company. The board discovered Selena's unauthorized trials. They weren't pleased. One night, Selena received an encrypted message. It was from Victor Crane, the ruthless chairman of the VATEC board. If you continue this nonsense, you'll regret it. The suit will be sold to defense, with or without you. The next day, Jonas noticed drones tailing him on his way home. He barely managed to lose them. Selena clenched her fists. They know. They're going to try to take the prototype. Jonas asked, what's the plan? Selena's eyes hardened. We fight back. Climax. The board called an emergency shareholder meeting. Selena was ordered to present Project Aegis. She knew they intended to vote her out and seize control of VATEC. On the day of the meeting, security was tighter than ever. Jonas, suited up in Aegis, remained hidden in the lab, awaiting her signal. Inside the massive auditorium, Victor Crane stood before the shareholders. Ladies and gentlemen, our CEO has wasted resources testing with civilians. Today, I propose we realign this project for military contracts worth trillions. Applause echoed. Selena stepped forward, her voice calm but sharp. You all think profits outweigh people. You see weapons. I see workers, healers, human beings who deserve a future. Let me prove it. Victor sneered. And how will you do that? At that moment, Selena sent a signal through her earpiece. The doors burst open. Jonas strode in, the Aegis suit gleaming under the lights. Gasps filled the room. Security drones swarmed, but Jonas moved like lightning, disabling them non-lethally, ripping weapons apart, slamming drones into walls. His every movement was graceful, controlled. Shareholders watched in stunned silence as Jonas lifted a collapsed pillar, saving 3 people Crane had endangered by triggering an accidental explosion to discredit her. Selena pointed at Jonas. This man was discarded by automation. With Aegis, he is stronger, faster, and more capable than any machine. Not as a soldier, but as a human being restored. This is the future VATEC should build. The room erupted, some in awe, others in anger. Victor snarled. You've just sealed your fate, Selena. He pulled out a hidden control pad, attempting to override the suit, but Jonas gritted his teeth. Not today. The Aegis suit glowed brighter, resisting the override thanks to Selena's modifications. Jonas leapt forward, crushing the pad in Victor's hand. The shareholders, seeing Victor's desperation and Selena's vision, voted unanimously. Selena would remain CEO. Victor was escorted out, defeated, ending. Days later, the city buzzed with news. Videos of Jonas saving lives spread across networks. People saw not just a prototype, but hope. Selena launched a new initiative, Aegis for All, adapting the exosuit for construction workers, firefighters, and the disabled. Jonas became the first official pilot and trainer, helping others learn to use the technology. For the first time since losing his job, he felt purpose again. One evening, back at Elysium Cafe, Jonas sat with Selena, both sipping their drinks. Funny how it started, Jonas said with a smile. One declined card. Selena chuckled softly. One act of kindness changed everything. They clinked their coffee cups together, the neon lights of New Phoenix shimmering through the glass. Outside the dome, the storm raged on. But inside, for the first time in years, both of them felt the future was theirs to build.